Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show.
If you should awaken, I will be there when you wake from your lovely
Hello, welcome back. There's something very important today I would like to discuss, and it is about a book that I heard that was written a few years ago. Now, my book, I literally gave away more than I sold, but this particular book happened to sell over 5 million copies in like 7 translations. The book was called Conversations with God. And the author of the book was on a radio program the other night, on George Norrie's program. And I really wanted to hear what he had to say about it, because as a spiritualist, this is what we do. We have conversations with our spirit that is connected to God. You're not going to be this connecting to the creator of the universe directly, because you have to use common sense about this. It's not an individual with ears. What it is a system that operates the whole thing. And it is our spirits are a part of him. So when we're talking to our spirits, it is as if you can look at it as if we are directly in tune with the nervous system of the Creator. He has the capacity to hear everything, because when you're talking to your spirit, you're talking to a piece of him. It's not a biological unit where you have separate things going on. The human brain is complicated enough. Millions and trillions of neurons breaking off, deciding things, making decisions. Well, the creator of the universe is the same way, but on a universal scale. He is locked into the stars and all the molecules and everything else. That's why prayer is very questionable, because there is nothing you can say to the creator that he doesn't know you already want to say. He knows what you want to say, and a lot of times he's really saying, it would be a lot better if you could communicate with my spirit that is within you. And it would be a hell of a lot better if you can communicate with the spirit that's within you and let it guide you. This is the whole point of what I'm trying to do. Teach you that you have a spirit, and then allow your spirit to guide you. That's the best thing you can do as a human being. Unless there's something wrong with your spirit, unless you're possessed or something and your spirit is awful. The best that you can do is connect with your spirit that's connected to God. So, what I'm trying to tell you right now is that I listened to this program because I was very interested in what this person was talking about when he said he was having conversations with God. It's hard to find other people that are like myself. When you're talking to church ministers and pastors, they have scriptures that will tell you that we are a spirit with a body, but they really don't really understand exactly what that means. Because if they did understand what that means, he would be telling his congregation, how to communicate with their spirit and talk to their spirit instead of listening to him. See, the problem with that is you would have no need to listen to him or her if you were listening to your spirit that's connected to God. It puts them out of a job. But I say to ministers, you could still have a job by teaching people how to connect with their spirit and letting them know they don't have to listen to you, because all you're doing is telling them the same thing that has been told for thousands of years. It's not doing any good. You can see the state of the world that we're in right now. You know, you're re-examining scriptures. You need to be, I'm not trying to tell you your job, but if I were you, if I had a church and I would want to, and I was seriously interested in trying to elevate my congregation, which is really all I'm trying to do with the 110 subscribers that I have, I'm trying to elevate their level of spirituality. This is my church, so to speak. And to do that, I'm going to teach you how to communicate with your spirit. I will give you daily exercises that you can do that will help you to communicate. Once you communicate with your spirit, and I don't mean talking to it. You know, I don't mean talking to it. I mean it talking back. It talking to you when you least expect it. So, I examined this book, and I examined the author of the book on the radio program, and I have to say that what he was saying was basically you have to listen to your gut feeling. You have to, in other words, he was far from being someone who was literally having conversations with God. He wasn't at all. There are a lot of things that go into having these conversations with God and listening back. Number one, the first thing that you need to do is understand that you have a spirit. Number one. Number two, understand that your spirit is here to do what it needs to do. Not for you to do what you need to do. Your spirit is here to guide your body and your brain into doing the mission that it was sent here to do by the Creator. You have the Creator who's communicating with your spirit. Your spirit is trying to take upon the work of your spirit and the Creator. Manifesting is a real challenging word as far as I'm concerned, because all you're doing is your brain is trying to figure out what to do, what it wants to do, what it wants to be. I want to be an athlete. I want to be a singer. That's not why we're here. Some people are here to sing. Some people are here to be athletes. But for the majority of us, we are here on a mission that our spirit has set us on. We're not going to know what that mission is at first. But once we're here for a while, once we're here, we start to feel things and discover things about ourselves. If we can listen to our spirit will guide us directly into that which we are here to do. It doesn't do you any good for your spirit to put you on a mission here and you want to play football with all your might. Well, this is what's going to happen. You're going to play football, of course, because you get to retire early, and you're not going to take on some serious things like I'm doing right now until you are older, because if you're 22-year-old, they're not going to respect what you're saying anyway. So you need to be a little older. So you have time to play football. You have time to do rap music. Let me tell you something about you rappers. You rappers out there love to get in front of an audience and you love to talk. You would be great at this. You'd be way better than this than I am. I have to study. You probably wouldn't have to study. You might have to just study something real quick and just blah, 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 blah. You rappers can become great spiritualists. I can show you how to do it. And you singers, you can sing about this. I sing about this. Anyway, today I'm going to keep stepping on this topic for a while, but I'm going to let you watch this video first. This is a video, it was a very important one. It explains the Exodus. We're talking about Moses' Exodus from Egypt. Now, like I said in the last episode, I prefer to believe that the true Exodus was the Exodus of Amen-hotep IV. He and Nefertiti, when they left Egypt, when they got ran out of Egypt. I think that was the real Exodus. However, the other story is so popular, so I put together a scenario that included the beings that were around at the time. I know Yahweh was, because he was the one with the burning bush, of course, and all the little magic stuff. It wasn't really magic. If you want a part of Red Sea, well, the Anunnakis knew how to do things like that. They built pyramids with a machine. I'm sure they had tractor beam technology that could separate an ocean. So we just basically put it together a scenario. 90% of my book is nonfiction. I made up the angel hive. Well, I embellished a little bit on this one too, just for fun. Like, if there was a Moses, it probably went down like this. Check it out.
Chapter 47, The Exodus.
The Exodus began on 1446 BC after Moses disobeyed one of the sacred commandments by killing an Egyptian. Yahweh and Thoth led a careful yet strategic plan to lead the Pharaoh Thutmoses III into the desert, quickly moving toward the Red Sea, where Thoth had readied the first of many godly miracles that was proof of the might of God. The Hebrews were now destined for the land of Israel. They quickly journeyed towards the ocean, where they witnessed a very large gaping aperture traveling downwards and across the ocean floor. The waters seemed to be separating, leaving a chamber large enough for the whole of Jews to enter into without harm. Unseen to the Hebrews was one of the many interstellar celestial amphibious disks that sat hidden for thousands of years in a bunker 1 kilometer beneath the Sphinx belonging to Thoth that he had now laid at the bottom of the sea just before they had arrived. This ship was designed specifically for underwater conquest by Hermes' uncle Poseidon in Atlantis. In fact, this was the same vessel that would later be used to shuttle Jonah back to Nineveh after he had refused to accept his divine mission, though I don't know who was the pilot of the vessel at the time. Jonah was thrown overboard in an attempt to save the ship from the wrath of God, forcing Jonah to resume his mission. Once there, he was led out onto the shore where he would honor his Lord. Back in Egypt, Thoth would use his ship's tractor beam technology to force not only the sea but also sea life and soft soil at the sea bottom to separate, creating a tunnel effect as the sea rushed over and above like an undersea cavern that would remain stable until the stability was purposely destabilized. This was the same tractor beam's technology used to gather tons of granite slabs, some weighing several tons, to construct the Sphinx and pyramids. Thoth slowly moved forward unseen by the masses. Yahweh then called for the Hebrews to enter as he insisted on being a passenger, and was not about to pass up the opportunity to witness his supernatural phenomenon, while physically present. Thoth could see, not only the effects of the beam on a screen, but a lattice was shown, that would also include the now and forever shocked beyond reason Hebrews, in a panic, rushing through the held-back waters praying not to be consumed by the gigantic marvel. Through the lattice screen, Yahweh and Thoth could view not only the entire mass of the Hebrews, but also the few Egyptian soldiers who had begrudgingly ventured there. The soldiers then found themselves on the same floor without consideration of the miraculous facts. One would not believe that the God that would create this miracle for the Hebrews would also extend its wealth upon the enemy of the Hebrew. As they slowly walked the ocean floor, while shivering from fright at the sight of carnivorous man-eating variety of sharks, giant groupers and barracuda, there was even a gigantic kraken, with its tentacles stretched out wide, sitting in wait behind the veil of waters, as they gazed upon the never-before-seen smorgasbord of human delights. It was as if the Hebrews themselves were looking through a gigantic glass aquarium at their impending death, as hungry sea life and many fish varieties slowly floating in wait for this helpless feast. No such chance, however, would be taken by Thutmose the Pharaoh, as he angrily sat in witness as the beam collapsed, engulfing hundreds of Egyptian soldiers in the oceanic undercurrent of death. The magnitude of carnage would not be realized or registered until the morning, when the partially consumed body parts began to wash onto the shore in a morbid display of gluttonous feeding frenzy that had taken place the night before. For the next 2 hours or so the Israelites stayed and prayed in the cavern. They were like people wandering in a large glass bottle, slowly moving across the ocean floor. The great aquatic vessel that just happened to be named the Deliverer slowly moved ahead on the ocean bottom. The Hebrews kept pace as the Deliverer extended wings from either side that were not wings. They were sea life gatherers specifically designed to trap a multitude of life-sustaining nourishment. The internal mechanisms would separate, clean, prepare and preserve whatever it had gathered. It would also dry pack, freeze and bundle thousands of pounds of edible materials that would stay on board, as the vessel was also prepared to journey as far across the desert, for as long as it was needed to deliver the Hebrews to their destination. Spaced evenly across the desert route were hundreds of water well oases that were violently blasted into existence prior to the mission's onset. Camels were also plentiful, as well as Arabian horses for travel. Desert mules, or shall I say mule deer, were placed along the route along with manna that would provide a bounty of the life-sustaining sustenance. The vessel also contained the now familiar manna machine that would join glucose molecules taken from vast concentrates of saplings that had been spaced and buried along the desert route. Well planned by the god Yahweh, Thoth and a certain archangel that for now will go unnamed, was the mission that had by this time become obviously prophetic. Thoth and Yahweh would spend only a few days on the journey, as the two would rendezvous with other vessels returning Thoth to Egypt and Yahweh to ethereal heaven. As the god Yehu, who had lived and died on earth, possessed the extremely rare ability to exist on earth from his spiritual realm. Several of the Anunnaki who had stayed on Earth for too long were no longer able to travel back to Nibiru. Their blood and systems had begun to acclimate to the accelerated planetary rotation and could not be reversed. They had to die here just as Al-Hula died on Mars. However, they would quickly return to resolve unfinished business from heavenly realms. Meanwhile, the vessel Deliverer would be placed on autopilot while several unmanned drones accompanied the Israelites to the Promised Land. It would take approximately 40 years to journey the desert, and Moses would pass away just within sight of the Promised Land as he viewed the wondrous valley as he sat approximately 710 meters above sea level atop Mount Nebo. He would later be laid to rest somewhere near the city of Moab. Akhenaten, if he were the true journeyer, was buried in a royal tomb back in Egypt. Remember, this story could very well be about he and Nefertiti instead of Moses.
Subscribe and push the like button.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that, and what a ride. You see, sometimes we have to use a little creative license. The story was very complicated, but I felt like, well, since they did so well with the movie, well, let me just add my, 5% too, just to beef it up a little bit. I still prefer the story of Akhenaten's Exodus, but you never know. Moses might have done his thing too. So, getting back to the topic at hand, communicating with your spirit. As I said, the first thing you need to do is create a one-on-one dialogue relationship with your spirit. I am Kurt. I call my spirit Big Kurt. The universal consciousness, the creator of the universe, is connected to your spirit. Your spirit represents that fact. So, the closer you can come to communicating with this is the closer you're going to come to communicating with that. This here has a brain. It has thoughts. It has relationships. Whereas this here has spiritual knowledge, knows the past, present, and the future, and knows how to get you there. Things that seem like miracles to certain people, to some people, are common day occurrences to me. Once you connect to your spirit, here's the reward. It goes a little something like this. It enjoys the relationship that it has with you once you make it personal. When you're praying to God, what you're doing is you're bypassing your spirit and going directly to the source. It's a very difficult thing for the source to answer everybody's prayers, simply because everything that is being asked has already been given. You're the problem with getting it. Everything you want in this world has already been given and then some. Now, is it also his job to teach you how to get it? No. That's your mission. How to get it is your mission. He's already given it, and he's given you a hell of a tool to work with. Now, this one right here, oh, it will help you get it. Your spirit will help you get it because it's assigned to you. This one has a lot of other things to do, so he basically, through quantum physics, he gave everything the opportunity. We'll talk one day about mentalism. Well, that's what the universal principle of mentalism does. It gives everyone the opportunity to use their mind to gain these things. This is not going to teach you how to do something that he's already given. But this one here, your spirit will. It will get things for you. It will do things for you that will seem like miracles. For example, I didn't have any money one time, and when I had to start over, and I was driving a work truck and transmission was about to go out and I didn't know it. Well, transmissions for these things cost a couple of $1,000s and I didn't have any money. So finally, I saved up a couple of $1,000s. Matter of fact, I saved up $2,400. Thought I was hot snot. I can go on a date now. I got $2,400. Just then, the transmission went out on the truck. I had the truck towed to a transmission shop, who then told me your insurance, your auto insurance is going to cover you for 1 week of a rent-a-car. And so you have 1 week's rent-a-car that we will deliver to you while we replace your transmission, and the cost of your transmission is $2,400. I said, okay, wow, that's kind of amazing. That happens to be just what I have. This is how it will work. Your spirit will postpone the breaking down of your car, and then it will show you how to get the money, and then he will break the car down. It is an amazing thing, the kind of thing that your spirit can do for you. I mean, it's like cheating the world. And once you realize these things are possible, it will get you anything that you want that it agrees that you should have. It's not going to agree that you can have anything you want. You might want something stupid. You might want something that's contrary to what your mission is supposed to be. No, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that. In fact, money, a lot of money can make you an awful person. can make you an awful human being. You want to find the best human beings in the world, they're not going to be wealthy people. Because if wealthy people were very good people, they would probably help the less. And in a capitalistic society, no. That kind of cream that rises to the top as far as money is concerned is the kind of thing that requires a little more self-serving nature. You know, I'm not like that. I don't have a lot of money, but I can look like I do. I can work around. I can look like $1 million, but my spirit will not allow me to have those kinds of resources. My spirit knows me. I will give it away. And matter of fact, people will see, they know me. They see, ooh, Kurt's got some money. Let's go get it. They know it. They know I will give it away. If I carry $20, more than $20 on me, by the end of the day, the $20 is going to be gone to somebody I saw at the grocery store. Because I also understand that the more you give, the more you get. And by being selfish is going to keep you from having those kinds of blessings. So, understanding that you're not going to be selfish, you're going to give it away. So I don't need to have a lot of wealth. First thing that's going to happen to me is some super fine woman's going to walk past me and I can't resist, and she's going to end up with all of it. That's the way of the world. So anyway, I'm better off being well taken care of as opposed to being rich. Anyway, so you want to communicate. You want this direct line communication with your spirit. You want to give it a name because you want to be able to show the gratitude to something. You want to be able to say, hey, thank you, Big Kurt. Man, that was a hell of a thing you did with that transmission. Man, you waited till I got $2,400 and then you let the truck break down. Wow, that's deep. And it will all work out like that in synchronicity. You know, I was at the gym yesterday and I sat down on a machine and there sat a pair of glasses, you know, and there was a brother who had just left the machine and I looked over at him and he was sitting over there and I said, hey, brother, did you forget your glasses? He said, huh? I said, did you forget your glasses over here? He said, no, man, those aren't my glasses. And there was another dude that was standing way over there, but he heard me. He heard me ask this guy, and he said, oh, man, those are my glasses. They must have been sitting there for 3 or 4 days. You know, I heard you ask him if he had his glasses, made me think of my glasses, and those are my glasses. So synchronicity, your spirit will do that for someone else. Your spirit will say, Kurt, here's some glasses here. Go on, blast out to this guy over here. You know, ask him if he's just, because there's a guy over there that really needs them. Your spirit knows things like that. That is a little micro miracle, but I can tell you with me, they happen all the time, every day. Every day something's going on, I got to look up and say, Big Kurt. Thanks, Big Kurt. Every day. Can't find my keys. Okay, it's getting late. Big Kurt, tell me, the keys. You know, boom. I've lost keys so many times that I don't worry about losing keys. Because if I lose them all, I got to do say, Big Kurt, boom. You know, it's just, and this is what I want to happen for you. Once these things start to happen to you, then you will believe. Then you will believe. I don't expect you to believe everything I'm saying right now, but what I want to happen is that you see it happen for yourself. This is not a gift that I have that is meant for me to have by myself. It's meant for everyone to have. It's just that the way we are educated in society and in religion, we are raised to believe we need to depend on certain municipalities or organizations. We need Christianity to do well. We need Islam. We need, this is a way for Christianity, Islam, Buddhism all to come together and raise their level of spirituality. There's nothing wrong with being a Christian, except for the fact if you connect with your spirit, you won't be able to listen to some of those scriptures. You'll be like, that can't be right. That's just wrong. That's just wrong. You will have a hard time dealing with that. And you also have a hard time listening to preachers because you feel like your spirit will be like, don't listen to that. Don't listen to that. Your spirit will let me tell you what to listen to. And it will guide you to those things that are better for you than what a base religion has to offer when it's dealing with a congregation of 2,000 people. It is a minister talking to 2,000 people when you have a spirit that's connected to God talking to you only. You know, there's always a place for ministers. Ministers, if you can, let me teach you, how to get people to raise their level of spirituality. And then you can just go to church and have a good time and listen to good music and develop physical relationships, as opposed to what tends to happen in church. To me, is you're separating the spiritual relationship with the Creator. You're separating it simply because you're giving too much credence to the instructor, who is teaching from a book that's 2,000 years old. The information in the book is old as hell. That's probably why it has hell in it. If they wrote a new book, it wouldn't have hell in it. I guarantee you, because that was a construct. Anyway, I'd like to thank everybody for coming today, and we're going to see you on the next show. Thank you. I love everybody. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and check me out on TikTok. I'm starting to put some things on TikTok now to see how that works. Seems to be a lot of fun. And go over and check me out on TikTok, and see you guys next time.
Subscribe and push the like button.